How is it that some financial institutions are able to provide $500, $700 million lines of credit, and yet your retail bank cannot do that? Have you ever wondered, how does that work? In this video, I'm going to show you what happens behind the scenes. You've got to watch this video. I'm Taimour Zaman from All Funds Global. My organization helps successful businesses leverage their assets, their cash, their time as their credit to access capital that the banks are primarily offering to their Fortune 10 customers. We can do this because of the volume of transactions we do, because of our relationships, and because of our experience in this area. The capital that our clients are getting enables them to fund their business, grow their business, and buy auxiliary businesses. Nothing that I constitute in this video should be considered as legal or financial advice. The purpose of this video is strictly for education and entertainment purposes. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and take a minute and do that right now. You will access customer case studies, customer walkthroughs, strategies that you've never seen before. I look forward to seeing you on the other end. Thank you.
How can some financial institution provide alternative financing of over 500 million and my retail bank can? That's a question I have to you.
Do that. So first of all, Ronaldo, thank you. I understand that you're an auditor and you audit banks.
That's correct.
That's one of the things you do. So first of all, every time we deposit money with a bank that's connected to a central bank, like in the United States, UK, like that, the central bank within 7 days gives the bank, a retail bank or a private bank or wholesale bank, like 12 times multiples. $5 million deposit, if you deposit $5 million with, let's say, one of the Canadian banks, the Canadian bank gets a $50 million line of credit upon you making a deposit within 7 banking days. In the world of alternative financing, you do this for your business. You help clients get private bank licenses. And I'm sure you would know this far more than I do, that a private bank, a guy who has a private bank license, could have a private bank license in a jurisdiction where the central bank gives that bank a 10 times line of credit. So imagine I run Taimour's private bank license. Imagine I do that in Cayman Islands. So I deposit, a client deposits $10 million, I get a $100 million line of credit, right?
Okay.
If I don't do anything, like zero knowledge in investing, all I do is I'll tell the client who wants a loan, hey, if you want a loan out of the $100 million, I'll give you $50 million loan that you have to pay me back. The other $50 million I'm going to keep and I'm going to invest in other things. Let's say real estate, and I'll make on another $50 million at 10%. If I do 10% return, I'll make $5 million for the rest of my life, assuming real estate prices don't go up in places like Cayman Islands. How is it that private banks or alternative funding can do lines of credit that your retail bank cannot do? My answer is two reasons. One is every bank gets a 10x line of credit, whether it's a private bank or a retail bank connected to a central bank.
Okay.
Retail banks, the average person is not depositing 5 million, 10 million, 50 million. Retail bank, the average person is depositing $1,000, $2,000. And then the guy needs it. He needs it next week to pay his rent. He needs it to pay his bills. He needs it to pay his groceries. That is called non-sticky money. The money doesn't stick. It gets deposited, but it goes out. If I'm the banker, it's very hard for me to make long-term investment decisions, given that money is not sticking with me. In private banking, the religion is different. The banker is asking the client to put up 5 million, 10 million. The banker is getting 50 million, 100 million online credit, and is giving a portion of that to the client, let's say 70 million in the form of a recourse loan, or 50 million in form of non-recourse loan, because how they're leveraging the assets, the large deposit they're making. And that's why private banks or alternative funding can provide lines of credit that a retail bank cannot do. I hope that answers that question.
Yes. Excellent. Taimour, one question. How do I know if you are for real? How we can begin to this process? How we can do this that you described?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking. One way you know if me or any of my competitors are real is you can say, hey, we have a project need. Here's the KYC. We'll sign whatever documents. Can you, Taimour, show sample transactions that you've completed or you're in the process of doing? Something that shows experience.
Yes.
Now, in my case, you don't need sophisticated information. You can look me up on Amazon and you'll see I've authored multiple books. Structured Finance Demystified would be the example of this transaction. You can go to Trustpilot, put in Alphonse Global. You can see some reviews on us. But more importantly, here I can show you some sample transactions. So this is a transaction where the client wanted a lot of capital. They said, I'm a private client. I have some large amount of deposit to give you, but I want something called recourse loan for you to give me. So we said, okay, if we take this money you have, we're going to go get a letter of credit from one of the top 20 banks in the world. We will issue it to a bank that we work with. That bank will become the lender, and then the lender will then provide you a loan. We then spoke to the lender. We provided a 2-year JV agreement. The client provides 5 to 6 year loan period. There's a percentage of amount the client has to make pay interest, return of capital. You can see sign NDA between AFG, Alphonse Global, and then I redacted the name of the client. So you can see some transactions, some sample transactions for what's called recourse loan. In this case, the client wants roughly $50 million that they want in form of a loan, and their traditional bank cannot provide that amount of capital to them because they've already maxed out a credit facility. That's why they reach out to the alternative funding industry. And in my case, I'm working with some of the bank CEOs who I've introduced you to structure behind the scenes for the bank, if that makes sense.
Excellent. And who is going to be your client in case of that? Who is going to be your client? Who are not going to be?
So our clients are successful businesses. They run like their company is not a startup. It's not crawling, trying to figure out the purpose of the company. It's not a company that's going to go bankrupt. It has to be a successful business that has established operating credits. And then they are looking for line of credit loan to fund their transactions. Generally speaking, we work with the CEO or CFO of the organization, always with their chief legal counsel when it comes to paperwork. That's who we serve, all of our international clients. Who's not our customer is somebody who's shopping around. Somebody who's not our customer is somebody who says, I have land, it's in India or Africa somewhere. It's worth $1 trillion. Can you give me a loan for $1 billion? That's not our customer. I'm not going to go to Africa to verify if this land is worth $1 trillion. If you want me to go to Africa to verify, you're going to pay me my expense to go with an auditor to audit it. So our customer is not somebody who has, who doesn't want to put up any money for legal fees, escrow fees. That's somebody who's not our customer. I hope that makes sense.
Hi friends, I now want to take a minute and answer some of your frequently asked questions. One of the common questions I get a lot is, Taimour, we've learned a lot from you through your YouTube channel. How do we learn more? Can we fly down and meet your team? And the answer to all of that is yes, yes, and yes. If you want to learn more, my first invitation is to become a member of Alphonse Global. You simply go to our website, alphonseglobal.com. You sign up to become a member for free. You get access to webinars, offshore events that we do, and content that we never, ever, ever, ever publish on YouTube. I promise you that it's worth becoming a member for sure. The second way that you can learn a lot is I'm a published author. Structured Financing Demystified, Hypergrowth, just multiple books on Amazon that you can get access to. I highly recommend going and checking out some of these books, getting engaged into some of the stuff, that strategies and tactics that we're using for ourselves, for our families, for our friends. You definitely want to check these things out for sure. Another question, I guess, Taimour, why are you so passionate about getting a bank license? Why is that so important? Well, the truth is, our mission within Alphonse Global is to help businesses become self-funded for life. Imagine you run a coffee shop and I run a coffee shop. Imagine we buy the coffee beans from the same grower and my coffee shop is right across yours, like really right across yours. Our competition is probably nil. But if you have a bank license and I don't have a bank license, and let's say I made $500,000 and you made $500,000 in income. But if you have a bank license, you are depositing a bank license with the central bank of the country where you own your own private bank license. Let me repeat this again. You are depositing your money with the central bank of the country you have your bank license on. So $500,000 deposited with the central bank should give you a line of credit of 10 times multiple. So that means you get a line of credit of $5 million. Now it's not free money, it's a line of credit of $5 million. Now, if you draw that entire money out and you go to whichever country you're currently resonating in, the country you're doing business with, and you know in real estate, you want to buy a house, you put 20% down and you get a loan for 80%, same thing. You put $5 million down with a business plan to your local bank, whoever you bank with, and say, hey, I want to grow my business, my technology business, real estate business, pharmaceutical business, whatever business it is. I'm a venture capitalist. I'm putting $5 million down. Your bank gives you a loan at four times more, so now you get a $20 million loan. Now it's not free money, it's $20 million loan. What can you afford to do with $20 million that I cannot afford to do with $500,000? Could you invest in artificial intelligence? Could you invest in hiring better people? Could you invest in advertising? Hell, with that amount of money, could you even buy auxiliary businesses or invest in auxiliary businesses? I say you can, and that's why we within All Funds Global are so passionate in helping clients become self-funded for life, and getting a private bank license is one of the vehicles that I am personally very passionate about helping clients on. Another question, I guess, Taimour, you charge a consultation fee. All Funds Global, the team charges a consultation fee. Why do you charge a consultation fee when you guys can make so much money on the back end? It somehow slows me down from taking a credit card and paying you money for it. Well, here's the truth. We offer our content, millions and millions of dollars worth of content complete for free on YouTube. We don't advertise as of the date of doing this video. We don't advertise on YouTube, Google, or we don't do any kind of advertising at all. And what we find is the volume of traffic that goes into YouTube attracts people that are tire kickers, people that are fraudsters, people that have mental health issues. When we charge a small consultation fee, this deters the hacker, the fraudster, the person who's shopping around, the tire kicker. It eliminates all that and allows me and my team to be on calls or meetings with customers we actually want to do business with. What a concept. Now comes, this is better. At the time of doing a transaction with a client, that fee they pay for a consultation call, we refund it. At the conclusion of us doing a transaction with a client, we refund 100% of all the monies that they paid on consultation fees. This allows us to work with people that are committed to working with us, are serious about working with us, are not tire kickers, are not people that are like, they don't know what banking 101 is, and they're there to waste our time and energy. Just eliminates that. And me and my team are very proud of doing that. Next question, I guess, Taimour, the alternative funding industry overall has a lot of fraudsters in it, has a lot of deep fake in it. What are you doing to protect us, protect yourself? So here's the answer to that. Any industry that has a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. Let me say this again. Any industry that attracts a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. I don't know who you bank with. If you bank with one of the top 20 banks in the world, pick a bank you bank with, or you use payment processing companies like PayPal, these companies see a lot of fraud every day, from fraudsters mimicking their website to mimicking their email addresses, and in cases like mine, once a year or twice a year, some idiot, excuse my language, decides to copy my picture on social media, tries to create a fake profile of me, and goes on social media selling scammy transactions. Now, we have the technology and the resources to catch that, usually within 72 hours of that happening, and then cause legal action against that fraudster. We have the financial resources, thank God, to do that today, but that's just the nature of this industry. So what we do to protect ourselves is we never solicit on social media anything, nor do we solicit in general. We offer a lot of educational materials, but we don't solicit. You'll never see me or any of my associates on any social media trying to sell anything, ever. Second, all transactions that we do, money always has to go through a reputable law firm. All transactions we do, money always has to go to a reputable law firm. We never ask the client to send us money or anything like that. Now, I do want to take a minute and talk a little bit about my competitors. In the United States, in the US alone, US has 3% of the world's population, and they have over 60% of the world's lawyers. In the United States, that's a fact, have 3% of the world's population and over 60% of the world's lawyers. I have a lot of legitimate competitors in the United States and around the world that unfortunately have been sued for wrongful things that other people have done. There's a lot of negative stuff on social media or websites about some of my legitimate competitors. And I want to tell you that a lot of my competitors are legitimate. They're hardworking people. I know them. They deliver real results. And unfortunately, they have negative comments or fraud or even lawsuits against them. The reason within All Funds Global doesn't have a lawsuit against it, or me, Taimour Zaman, don't have a lawsuit against me, or people on social media saying that we're fraudsters or something like that, is simply because of my lack of vision. Every company you deal with, every major company you deal with, whether it's the cars you drive, Ford, Lexus, I don't know, GM, or Facebook, Google, YouTube, whatever you use, or medicine you have, like Taimour, all of these companies have lawsuits against them. A lot of the companies you work with have litigations against them. It's just part of the growth. At some point, the business needs to grow exponentially, and that's when you have to see lawsuits as just the nature of the business growing. The fact that we don't have it is because of my lack of vision as the CEO and like trying to bark a tree like that. Now, I see that changing as we buy businesses that have other CEOs, as we grow. We have over 800 registered brokers with us. As that number grows, it's not normal for our business to continue growing without some idiot calling us fraudster, some idiot trying to sue us, or something like that. If you want to take advantage of the alternative funding industry, I'm going to tell you this is the industry I love. I'm going to tell you this is the industry that I've made a lot of money with. I'm going to tell you this is the industry I've helped a lot of clients make a lot of money with, friends and family make a lot of money with. And if this is an industry you want to get involved in, I recommend meeting the people you want to do business with, like physically flying out to meeting them. If you can afford to hire an investigator, we use a lot of former FBI, former CIA people. These are people you can hire to do background checks. It's not only do these people have lawsuits or not, or other losers calling them fraudsters or not. I'm telling you, a lot of my competitors are really good people, and they're not fraudsters. So do your own due diligence. Listen to your intuition. We're really interested in working with some really good people that are vision-driven entrepreneurs that really want to serve the world. And I think we have some things that are really amazing to offer. Another question I get is, Taimour, we love all the services of Funds Global. What are the top 3 services you offer that we should really seriously think about, call you or your organization and get you guys involved? Well, my favorite service, the one that makes a lot of sense, is the trusted advisory service. This is when we become your chief banking officer. We work with your CFO, your legal team, the CEO, the COO. We look at where your organization is, where you want it to be. We look at banking programs that make sense for your type of business, that are proven and would work to generate access to alternative revenue sources for your business that makes sense. From that, we then create offshore tax structures, offshore bank accounts, offshore bank licenses for your organization, so the revenue that gets generated has a channel to go to that is well protected. We have a lot of domain expertise that I do not share ever on YouTube. It's not like a lawyer who's like, go create a trust account and cooks out in. We don't do. We do some very sophisticated stuff that I'm very proud of. That's our intellectual property. And so the trusted advisory services, where we become a trusted advisor, is one of the things that I would recommend everybody to look at. It's a monthly retainer, you pay for it, but let me tell you, for every penny you put in, that you get tens of dollars out of it. And I think you're not going to get this amount of expertise dedicated to your business. So that's something I would recommend you to think about and sign up for. Second one is if you're looking for access to capital, we have a lot of unique programs like Rent a Rich Uncle that we can support your organization as long as your organization is a successful business and not a startup, not somebody who's going bankrupt. It's a successful business that has real cash, real assets, and is generating something real, that's real growth. I think we have some avenues for accessing capital that others simply cannot offer. And the final one that I love is we have a lot of asset management structures that are very unique to our intellectual property that I'd love to share with you. If you have assets, you want to grow, you want to get bank license, you want to set up a trust, you want to work with multiple central banks, do some really cool stuff. I think I'm the only weirdest person that has real expertise and experience in doing this stuff. And so my name is Taimour. I'm from Alphonse Global. Thank you for following us up on YouTube. If you're doing that, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting my team. And on behalf of my team, I just really want to say thank you. And we look forward to the opportunity of serving you.